You know what's the final straw for someone who loves their trees? When you cut down their memories without so much as a heads up. HOA Karen didn't just trim my branches. She took a chainsaw to the one thing I cherished most. My dad's apple orchard planted before he passed. She thought I'd file a complaint and call it a day. Nope. I decided to turn her pristine yard into a swampy mess. And I did it all by playing her own HOA rules against her. Picture a woman strutting like she owned my roots, thinking she could bulldoze my family's legacy and walk away clean. She had no idea I'd outsmart her with a shovel, a rainstorm, and a legal trap that'd leave her wading through mud. This story starts with a hacked-up orchard, twist through a sneaky plan, and land with a soggy showdown that'll have you cheering. Stick around, because Karen's about to sink in her own backyard. Let's take you to Willow Creek, a cozy Illinois suburb where old oaks shade quiet streets. Kids skip stones by dusk, and front yards whisper tales older than the cul-de-sacs. I'm the guy living in my dad's old house, 38, more at home pruning branches than chasing trends. Dad was a grower, hands rough as bark, eyes bright as morning dew, voice warm as a harvest sun. He taught me to plant seeds, graft trees, and love the earth. 20 years ago, we started an apple orchard behind the house. 10 trees, gnarled but golden, their fruit tarred as his laugh. It wasn't just an orchard, it was where we'd talk life over cider, where I'd climb as a kid dreaming of pirates, where I'd sit after cancer took him 8 years back, scout my mutt, digging nearby, feeling Dad's hand in the breeze. Every blossom was his story, every apple my pride, a legacy I'd guard with my life. Willow Creek wasn't all dirt paths. New money swept in, McMansions blooming like weeds, their gates shinier than their hearts. Enter Karen, HOA president, the self-crowned queen of Willow Creek Estates, ruling with a clipboard sharper than her perm. She didn't lead, she crushed, her bylaws a noose on anything wild. Wrong mailbox, Hugh? $300 fine. 2 vivid tulips? Warning letter. Clara, my neighbor, got a $400 hit for a tacky bird bath. It had a duck, so what? Karen's patrols were relentless, her SUV prowling at dawn, clipboard snapping like a judge's gavel, sniffing out life like a hawk on a field mouse. Willow Creek Estates wasn't a community. It was her kingdom. Neon notices her whip, her smirk a fortress nobody dared storm. My orchard was her obsession. Tucked behind my house, zoned free, it grew legal. No HOA rule touched it. I kept low, tending trees by day, walking scout nights, no fuss. Folks knew me as the apple guy, not a rebel. I liked kneeling in mulch, Dad's voice in the rustle. Clara dropped pies, griping Karen's fines. Her mailbox took a $350 hit for chipped green. Jamal, town carpenter, cursed a $450 smoke fine. His grill was poetry. Rosa, whose roses sang like spring, paid $500 for excessive blooms. Blooms? I'd chuckle, thinking my permits outranked Karen's pen. I'd grafted trees tougher than her. A clipboard was a toy. But Karen's eyes locked on my apples. She called them unkempt once, her sneers slicing deeper than a pruning saw. Unkempt? They were Dad's heart, my sanctuary, and I'd defend them with every trick in my soul. When I got back from a work trip, the sight gutted me. 10 stumps, my orchard gone, mud where blossoms fell. Karen's note mocked. Removed per HOA rules. Too close to the sidewalk. Unsafe. Unsafe. Those trees fed Willow Creek. I wasn't just a son to her. I was a target. And that orchard, Dad's legacy, was her prey, one sheet hacked till it bled. Karen's war kicked off with a thud, a neon notice taped to my gate, her HOA seal glaring like a death warrant. She didn't knock. She invaded, standing in my yard like she owned my shovel. Your trees, she said, flipping her clipboard with a nail sharp as her sneer, are a hazard. They're too close to the sidewalk. Hazard? My orchard was zone free, permits clean as spring sap. I leaned on my rake, sipping coffee, and slid my paperwork over, city-stamped ironclad. Not your turf, Karen, I said, voice flat as a root bed. They're my apples. Her lips twitched, eyes glinting like a fox eyeing a nest. Apples don't run Willow Creek, she purred, venom cloaked in honey. Rules do, and rules have blades. Blades? That wasn't a chat. It was a guillotine. I tossed the notice, Scout's growl matching my gut, figuring she'd back off. No dice. By month's end, notices piled, printed official, absurd. Overground foliage, $500 fine. Visual blight, $400. Safety risk, $600. Risk? My fruit-fed neighbors, sweeter than her store-bought pies. I filed them, instincts humming, stack proof don't swing. But Karen wasn't tossing darts. She was sharpening a chainsaw. She crashed my Sunday pruning, Scout's ears flat. Her SUV parked like a tank. Clara weeded nearby. Jamal fixed a fence. Rosa watered roses. Karen ignored them, zeroing on me, clipboard tapping like a war drum. "Those trees are tanking our curb appeal," she said, voice dripping scorn. "Cut them, or we act." Act? My yard wasn't her lot. I wiped my brow, cool as a graph. "Permits are clean, Karen. You got no shot." Her grin turned icy. She wasn't debating. She was ordering. Clara whispered, "She's venom." Jamal nodded. "Find my grill. $4.54 smoke." Smoke? Karen's eyes dared me to swing. Then it hit. I got home from trip, dusk heavy. My orchard gone. 10 stumps, sawdust everywhere. Karen's note pin. Removed per HOA. Unsafe, sidewalk obstruction. No warning, no vote, no right. She'd massacred Dad's trees. Mud mocked 20 years of blooms. My heart in shards. Illegal? My blood boiled. Suns don't fold. We dig. Karen thought she'd won, but her blades had just sparked a storm she couldn't outrun. Karen's chainsaw didn't just cut my trees. It gutted my soul. Her attack no longer a jab, but a full-on massacre, shredding Dad's orchard like it was weeds. The notices weren't piling. They were burying, each one a bolder lie. Encroaching vegetation, $800 fine. Encroaching. My tree stood 10 feet from the walk, legal as my deed. Odor nuisance, $700. Apples smelled of cider, not rot. Then came property devaluation, $1,000, claiming my blossoms tanked home prices. Blossoms? Neighbors baked pies with my fruit, not her lies. I locked them in my safe, instinct screaming, plan the counter, don't crack. But Karen wasn't playing, she was torching, and my orchard was her pyre. I sniffed a scam. Years tending trees taught me to spot rot. I checked my yard, fences clean, no violations. But signs grew. Clara caught Ted, Karen's lackey, scoping my gate. Said it's for a survey. She hissed, but he had a chainsaw. Chainsaw? Jamal saw Barb with a contractor, Karen's inspector, packing a radio. Inspector? More like a hitman. I dusted my stumps, smudged prints. Enough to flag. Rosa tipped me. Karen's at the cafe, crowing. Orchard's gone, town's clean. Clean? This wasn't a fine. It was theft, and Dad's trees, his heart, my fight, were her trophies. That dusk, I stood by the stumps, mud where apples fell, Karen's note burning my hand. Rage simmered, but I thought like Dad, grow, don't curse. I dug into HOA rules. Bylaw 4.7. All yards must manage natural runoff. Karen's house sat low, a drainage sink for the block. Opportunity? I'd built irrigation tougher than her. I hired a landscaper, Lee, to tweak my yard, shifted drains, raised berms, planted willows to clog flow, all legal aesthetic. Runoff now pooled straight to Karen's lawn. Rain was coming, and her yard was my canvas. I moved quiet, cameras reset, Lee's maps drawn, Emma, my lawyer pal, on speed dial. Karen's cut was illegal. No council vote, no permit, pure fraud. I'd swamp her first, sue later, letting her strut into my trap. Clara's tip, Karen's HOA meeting, her stage to gloat. I lined up Lee's plans, Emma's notes, Jamal's photos, Ted's texts. Trees down, boss happy. Happy? Not for long. Karen thought she'd won, her permacrown. I was Dad's heir. This wasn't a fight. It was a flood, and her yard was about to drown. Willow Creek woke to whispers. Neighbors gawked. My orchard stumps the town's hot talk. I stood by the mud, flannel loose, but my blood burned like a root fire. Faces swung. Clara's eyes popped. "You're that guy." Jamal grinned. "Knew you at grit." Karen's HOA pack, parked nearby, froze. Ted's coffee hit the dirt. Barb's yapper choked mid-bark. Karen lounged by her gate, sunglasses low, her smirk fading. She hadn't known. Hadn't dreamed the guy she'd hacked was planting a trap to sink her yard. I kicked a stump, Dad's orchard gone, but Lee's drainage tweak was gold. Runoff now pooling in Karen's lawn, legal as my deed. Her cut was fraud, no vote, no permit, pure ego. Then Rosa dropped a bomb. Karen's HOA chat bragged. Trees gone, curb appeal saved, framing my apples as filth to boost her clean town cred. Saved? My gut roared. Suns don't flinch, we flood. I scoured records. Karen's bylaws, pinned solo, no signatures. Fraud, bold as her perm. I dug deeper. Emma pulled HOA files. $15,000 in fines. no receipts. Funneled to Karen's cousin's consulting scam. My permits shown, orchard legal, untouchable. Then the twist, Linda, HOA treasurer, slipped me a USB at dusk. Karen's emails, ordering fake violations. Mine included, to purge mess. My trees fed Willow Creek. I stacked proof. Karen's note, Linda's emails, Clara's tip, Ted's texts. Orchard dust, boss thrilled. Thrilled? Not for long. Rain hit, Karen's yard soaked, mud rising, her screams echoing. She stormed my gate, snapping pics, yelling, "You'll pay." Pay. I'd built her swamp, bylaw compliant. Her HOA meeting loomed, her chance to spin lies. I rolled in, maps tucked, sign ready, natural runoff, yard your way. She'd rage, clueless, expecting cheers. I rigged cameras, live stream queued. Je suis prêt, trespass, destruction, fraude. Karen's ex-post crowed. Willow Creek's pure. Pure. She'd chopped Dad's heart. I was the flood's maker. This wasn't a fight. It was a deluge. And her crown was about to sink. Willow Creek's HOA hall was a battlefield. Chairs packed, 500 neighbors crammed in, air crackling like a storm about to break. Karen strutted to the podium, perma fortress, grinning like she'd framed her legacy. "We're beautifying Willow Creek," she crowed, my orchard stumps on screen. A safety win circled in red, her fines her badge of honor. Standards. Standards? She chainsawed Dad's trees. Neighbors stirred, Clara's fists balled, Rose's eyes burned. Jamal leaned forward, jaw set. Karen's smirk was steel. She thought she'd own the room. She spun lies. My trees were unsafe, a slum, risking sidewalks. Half nodded, conned, half seethed, smelling rot. Ted tossed HOA rules flyers. Floors ate them like trash. Karen glowed. "We've purified Willow Creek." Purified? My move. I rose, maps in hand, sign blazing. Natural runoff, yard your way. Voice low as a root snapping. I called, "Karen, got a drainage report to share?" She froze, coffee splashing, expecting applause. Rosa hissed, "Drown her." I hit the live stream. Screen live on the HOA chat. 400 neighbors glued. Footage rolled. Karen's crew sawing trees. Her nod sharp. "Clear the mess." Then my permits, city back clean. The hall roared, Jamal bellowed, "Thief." Karen's face drained. "It's fake." I clicked. Linda's USB. Karen's email. Cut the orchard. No vote. Clara's clip. Karen at the cafe. Trees gone. Town's mine. Ted's text to Barb. Stumps done. Pay up. Neighbors surged. Clara screamed. Fraud. My stream hit 3 million views. Phones flashing like lightning. I faced Karen. Maps raised. "You destroyed my orchard. Felony destruction. Trespass. Fraud." I tossed Lee's report. Karen's yard. A swamp. My drain's legal. Case 2025. WC 88. You're done. She choked. Safety. The crowd booed. Doors burst. Sheriff Klein. 10 deputies, cuffs gleaming. "Karen," Klein said, "you're under arrest." Click. Cuff snapped on her. Ted. Bar dragged through jeers. Karen wailed, "You can't." We did. The hall erupted. Cheers, fists high. Jamal hugging Rosa. Clara's laugh wild. Linda yelled, "HOA's done. Vote." Unanimous. Bylaws burned. Karen's crown was mud. My swamp the gavel. Rosa's clip hit 5 million views. Neighbors chanting, "Justice." I stood by my sign. Dad's, orchard alive in their roar. Willow Creek wasn't hers. It was ours. Truth the deepest root. Karen's cuffs didn't just end her reign. They drowned her world. Willow Creek roared. Neighbors spilled into the streets, hugging, laughing, Clara tossing pies like confetti. Deputies hauled Ted out, his swagger sunk, Karen sobbing, "It's a frame." Frame? Her saws told the truth. The DA piled on. Destruction, trespass, fraud, charges stacking like cordwood. My suit cracked her HOA. $20,000 in fines. No votes. Pure theft. Funneled to her cousin's consulting scam. No receipts. Karen's lackey flipped, naming 12 scams. Trees, sheds, all raised. All tied to her sister-in-law's Creek Realty. Clara's fence, fined in 22, wasn't unsafe. Barb's text brag, paid off. Rosa's roses, hit last spring, same game. 50 neighbors spoke, X blazed. Hashtag Creek Justice spiking to 7 million posts. Tales from Florida to Oregon. The council froze her accounts. $5 million seized. Her gazebo bulldozed. Her realty a front for scams. Karen faced 15 years. Her plea dead when Barb spilled. $100,000 in inspector bribes. Karen's name on each. Willow Creek didn't watch. NBC ran Orchard's revenge, but we grilled, sang moved on. The HOA crumbled, board quit, bylaws burn. Neighbors raided the office, unearthing $3.8 million in fines. Karen's piggy bank for cruises, funded by Clara's birdbath. Rose's tulips. Leela to vote. New council. No fines, just trust. Karen's standards. Sunk, my stump's proud. Clara clapped my shoulder. Your dad'd be proud. Proud? I felt him, urging me to grow on. Willow Creek didn't just heal, it bloomed. I replanted the orchard. New saplings rising, seeds from Dad's old trees. No fines, all pride. Neighbors pitched in, Clara's mulch, Rose's stakes. Jamal's wire, Hank's grit. It wasn't a garden, it was us, unbowed. A sign rose, no cutting, unless you swim home. Karen? She slunk out. No post, no wave, just mud. Her yard stayed swampy. Rain's gift. My legacy. I bit my first apple, tart like Dad's laugh. Willow Creek was ours, free loud. Justice isn't loud. It's a root, a town that fights. Got an HOA nightmare? A Karen who cut too deep? Drop a comment. Your wildest clash. We're watching. I read every one, craving your spark. Did this swamp light you up? Smash that like. It's planting truth in mud. Share with your crew. Neighbors. Even a guy with a loud mower. New here? Subscribe, hit the bell. We're growing more wins, laughs, and grit, and I want you in the orchard. Thanks for rooting with me in Willow Creek. Keep planting, battling, crushing nonsense. Catch you next. Stay tough, stay true.